they sit here and they always try to make it egregious just for you having an opinion. And mine is a professional opinion. So, and mine is an up close and impersonal opinion with these same very men that you talking about. I played with two of them, Kobe and MJ. I played with both. Rest in peace, Kobe. I didn't slander anyone. What you just did was slander, sir. I gave a professional opinion. I'm a former professional athlete. I don't see what I said so wrong, but let's see what they wrote up that I said. During the interview with Switch Cultures, former Lakers center Kwame Brown went into a disrespectful monologue. It was disrespectful. So because my opinion doesn't align with obviously this fanboy's opinion, I was disrespectful. Now, me stating my opinion wasn't disrespectful. I don't know what this guy meant by he said that the star hasn't developed his skills enough to be considered. I didn't say that. I said he couldn't be considered the GOAT. And maybe that's what they don't want to put. He's not in the GOAT conversation, in my opinion, because those two GOATs that I saw, I watched Kobe do that every single night. Kobe had a whole 4 or 5 game stretch where he had 55 points each game.
Kobe over Rodriguez with space. Kobe burns him. 5 minutes gone by. Has Kobe back to back. Yes! Another triple. Couldn't get Udoka off his feet. Point play. Finding Kobe beyond the arc again. And again! Now Kobe for the tie. Got it! Did it again!
The big 6-0.
Kobe. Hard to believe.
Are you kidding me?
Unreal!
Are you? Kobe just comes down shooting. Kobe Bryant from the baseline. Kobe Bryant looks to drive to the baseline. Tougher. Kobe Bryant on the floor, drive, reverse.
For final 3 seconds, Kobe Bryant launches a long three. That is good. Jack, head of the pack, flush with the finish.
Well, there it is, John.
50 points for Kobe Bryant.
See how quickly they ran the double on Kobe.
Kobe right around the hustle play. Now Kobe running on Kinsey. Kobe with 32 and counting. Has got him underneath. The dish, Kobe underneath from jumping again on Gasol. Kobe, the distance. He's at 60.
First time the Hornets have done that. Going up. Kobe rises over. Hornets with a 12-point third quarter. Kobe has 48. Kobe has 50. He's done it. 4 straight games, 50 or more points.
I watched Kobe score 81 points. Falling out of bounds, falling inbound, leaning and dipping and whipping. But I just can't tell no lies. I've been with 2 of the greatest players that ever touched a basketball. And they can't do some things on the court. They can do everything. Kobe was a monster in the paint. He was a monster from a mid-range. And he was a monster from the 3. He was a monster everywhere on that floor. That's why he's in the GOAT conversation. I don't know how LeBron skipped past him. And I don't care how many points you score. That's not going to skip past Kobe, in my opinion. MJ was a monster on that court. He didn't just shoot threes. He put pressure on the defense every play. He attacked. He was a monster in the paint. He was a monster turning and getting the easy shot without using any energy. And when he turned into an older player, he aged with grace. I don't know how. That's what I said in the interview. I don't know how LeBron is still able to do this, but he's still athletic. But those other guys were able to age gracefully and turn into older players where you saw the evolution of their game, where they use their mind. LeBron is going to have to retire when his athleticism goes, because what else is he going to do?
Skills.
Man, skill this, skill that. Man, over the last 2 or 3 years, the word skill has become one of the most annoying words online when discussing basketball between NBA fans. Oh man, well, the guys in the 80s and 90s, they didn't have skills like the guys of the day. They wasn't as skillful, you know. It's become very, very annoying. But let's get right to it. We'll talk about this situation with LeBron James and Kwame Brown. Just heard the audio of Kwame Brown. That's courtesy of Bus Life. Make sure you go sub up and subscribe to his channel. Kwame Brown Bus Life. Kwame Brown Bus Life 2.0. Kwame Brown Beef. I believe he has 3 channels. But anyway, I don't understand why this whole situation with LeBron James is even a story. Anyone who knows the game of basketball watch LeBron James play. And if you watch Kobe Bryant, and if you watch Michael Jordan or any tape of Michael Jordan, you would understand that what Kwame Brown has said multiple times over the last couple years, whenever he does talk about LeBron James, that what he's saying is factual. We have enough data and enough games on LeBron James. He's going into year 22, and he has 21 years of games played. So at this point, we can say it's a fact, not allegedly, it's a fact, that LeBron James is not a great mid-range shooter. So I truly don't understand why this situation is even a story. But neither here nor there. Let's get right to it. First off, I just want to read this article. LeBron James claps back at Kwame Brown, no skill slander. Okay, let's get right to it. It says here, during the interview with Swiss Cultures, former Lakers center Kwame Brown went into a disrespectful monologue about James. He said that the star hasn't developed his skills enough to be considered, and then it just stopped. Considered what? And this is quoting Kwame Brown here. But the problem is when he plays teams like Chicago or Boston who have real solid principle, he has trouble. And so the old school players wouldn't have any trouble with LeBron because at 39, he should have developed a mid-range and a post game. And he still hasn't yet. He still has the athletic ability to just go 94 feet, which I don't know how, but he still has it. But if he didn't have his athleticism, his game really hasn't evolved outside of a 3 and putting his head down, going to the basket. He doesn't go like Paul Pierce, get into a spot, pulling up. Those are the things you normally see out of a superstar player. I'm not gonna read any more of this. First off, let me say this about the interview that Kwame Brown did. I saw the interview and I watched it, and the things that Kwame Brown said in the interview was not slander. I don't know why this guy said the word slander. Number 2, it was not disrespectful. Kwame Brown has spoken about LeBron James often on his channel, and he said often that LeBron James is a great player, and he said he's top 5. He just said that in his opinion, he believed that Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan are better. Now that's that man's opinion because he played with both of those guys. Now also what he said about LeBron James and his mid-range shooting and his post game, that is factual. LeBron James is not a great mid-range shooter. He does not have a great post-up game. If you watch LeBron James, you can see that. And he's been doing pretty much the same thing since he came in the league. This is the reason why he has to play with so many great shooters, because if there's no spacing on the floor, then LeBron James is pretty much ineffective. He does the same thing. Get the ball, top of the key, they come set a screen. The floor is spread with shooters. He set a screen, maybe get a smaller guy on him, and he just put his shoulder down and burrow to the basket. And if someone comes help on a double team, he just pass it out to a great shooter, and the shooter knocks it down, and he gets credited with an assist. And everybody be talking about, oh man, he makes everyone around him better, when he just made a very basic basketball play. Anyone who has watched LeBron James, he's been doing the same thing pretty much his whole career. So what Kwame said here on this interview is true. Now, I do not know why the clutch cronies have gone and made them take the interview down. I did see the interview, and this Mr. Matt Levine, what you're saying in this article is false. He did not disrespect him. He did not say he did not have any skill. I heard the interview myself. I don't know why Clutch or whatever, y'all trying to, y'all cronies want to run with this narrative, but I saw the interview, and what you saying is not true. He said that LeBron James is not a great mid-range shooter, which that is true. All we have to do is look it up, Google it online. There's data, there's shot charts, there's everything online. Everybody has a phone, everybody has a laptop, computer, whatever, and you can just look it up. That's the reason why I don't understand why this is even a story. So let's just look at a little data and some charts that I just randomly pulled up online, and you'll see that everything is true about LeBron James not being a great mid-range shooter. Now, as you can see here, with a simple Google search, we have pulled up LeBron James mid-range shooting percentages. Outside of 3 feet, it's 37.4%, and in the mid-range area, it is 37.8 overall. I guess that would be like from 4 foot out to the 3-point line or whatever. But LeBron James, with a very simple Google search and just look up the data, we can see that is factual, that LeBron James is not a great mid-range shooter. What is the big deal? Why is this even a story? So I also pulled up a random shooting chart. I just pulled up this shooting chart from the year that they won the bubble. This is from 2019-20. And as you can see on the shooting charts, it is red in the paint because that is all LeBron James does. He just lowers his shoulder, bulldoze, run over players, push off for layups and dunks. That's what he does. And as you can see here, he does it at a 65% clip. And if you look at the mid-range area this particular season, it is very low. It is under 40%. It's around his career average at the elbows. 37%. On one side is the other side is 32%. And he's an average 3-point shooter that particular season, 34%, 36%. What is the big deal? This is all that Kwame was talking about. All this information is readily available online. All you have to do is just look it up, and we can see that LeBron James is not a great mid-range shooter. This is not hating. This is factual data. Y'all love statistics and stats until it works against your narrative, but all this information is facts. And I just pulled this up just one random season. Now let's go to Michael Jordan, a year that he won a championship, and let's look at his mid-range shooting stats. And we can see here, this is the year 1996-97, the second year of the second three-peat. He was an older player at this time, and as you can see, he's a great mid-range shooter. And during that time period, he was older. His athleticism had declined, and so he was doing a lot of posting up, back to the basket, and he was doing a lot of face-up, 1-2 pull-up, mid-range shooting. And as you can see, all this red in the mid-range area are his hot areas. And you can see that he's a great mid-range shooter, far superior to LeBron James. And I believe for his career, he shot around 50% in the mid-range area. But I do know that they only officially started keeping track of these stats, I believe this season, 1997. But I did see some earlier stats from his earlier years. The first three-peat, I think 90 to 92, in the mid-range, he would shoot like 51%. So Michael Jordan was a great mid-range shooter. And what Kwame Brown has talked about over and over again, and many people have talked about it over and over again, in the late game situations, when the defense is buckled down, You have to be able to get to a spot in the mid-range and pull up and shoot at anywhere on the mid-range. And this is what Michael Jordan was great at. This is what Kobe Bryant was great at. And LeBron James is not. Here's a classic shooting chart right here from just one season. And people always talk about, oh man, Michael Jordan could shoot threes. Well, as you can see here, he was a pretty good three-point shooter also. 39, 45, 38%. And as you can see, it's a little cold around the paint because his athleticism had waned at that point, and he wasn't doing a lot of driving and dunking and stuff like he did in his younger days. So you see a lot of red in the mid-range area. When he was young, Michael Jordan developed and worked on his skill set so that when he got older and the athleticism wasn't there, like Kwame said in the video, he aged gracefully and he could still be dominant and effective in the mid-range area. And that's what you see here. This is a classic Michael Jordan shooting chart for later in his career. And this is what he did. So, you know, as we can see, he's far superior than LeBron James. Like, that is not a story. That is nothing, you know, to be even writing about. But let's go to Kobe Bryant. Now, I did pull this up with Kobe Bryant. This is from the 2013 season, his last, you know, semi-peak season. This is the year he tore his Achilles. And as you can see, Kobe Bryant was also a very good mid-range shooter. And Kwame talked about this, getting the shot off at the elbow. And if you see the elbow areas for Kobe Bryant, you see that extreme red, those were his hot areas. Those were the areas that he could get to, pull up at the drop of a dime and go up and release and hit that jump shot. And he was deadly from that from those spots in the late game situation. And this is what Kwame was talking about. And this is a very simple Google search. I just randomly pulled it up. You know, I don't understand this, you know. Again, Kobe Bryant was a superior mid-range shooter to LeBron James. It's the reason why he was more effective in late game situations also than LeBron James. Because he could shoot anywhere on the floor, not just getting to the basket, not just stepping back shooting three. He can shoot, he was deadly anywhere in that mid-range area. So if the defense played one way, he can go the other way. All he needed to do was get to an open spot, rise up, release, and he had a good chance of going in. You know, Kobe Bryant worked on that shot over and over again. Kwame Brown talked about that. He talked about seeing Kobe in practice, working relentlessly on his mid-range shooting. And as you can see here, those hot areas, those elbow areas, that's where he was most effective at. And the last one, this says since 2006, 2007. I think that's from 2006, 2007 season all the way up to 2013, I believe. But as you can see here on this chart, Kobe Bryant again, these hot zones are the elbow area. And this is what Kwame has talked about on video. Being effective in the mid-range, getting to that elbow, being able to pull up and shoot. 1-2 dribble, pull up, bam, effective, dominant. And you can see that right area, 45%, 43%. On the other side, 41%, and then 42%. And as you can see here, his shooting percentages also are higher than LeBron James in the mid-range area. And people are always talking about, oh man, Kobe, you know, wasn't an inefficient shot chucker or whatever. Well, you see here on this chart, if you look at it, in the mid-range area, he shot above league average. One side here on the left side is he shot 4.1% above league average, 5.9 at the elbow, 3.1 at the other elbow, and 1.6. So my math is in the mid-range, the league average was around 40%, 39, 40%, somewhere in there. And Kobe shot above league average in the mid-range area. So he was a very efficient mid-range shooter. So I don't understand why this is even a story. Like, we seen Kobe Bryant play. We seen Michael Jordan play, and we seen LeBron James play. We have enough data on LeBron James. And this is not his strong point. His strong point is driving to the basket, and over his career, he has become a little bit better at his three-point shot. I believe last year they just finished. I believe it was one of his highest years shooting threes. I think he shot like around close to 39% or something like that. I'm not sure. I have to look it up, but LeBron has become really like a streaky three-point shooter. Early in his career, he was not a good three-point shooter at all. And he has improved to the point where he's, above average, and at times he can get hot and get streaky to become effective. And so in late game situations that Kwame has talked about over and over again on videos, in the late game situations, he wants somebody like Paul Pierce, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, who's able to get to a spot, rise up, and shoot at the elbow on the mid-range area. And that's that. Not saying that LeBron don't have any skill. Of course he has skill, but that skill, the mid-range, and being able to post up, that skill LeBron James does not have. So I don't understand that. So what I'm going to do, we're going to look at some videos, a couple late game situations. We're going to look and see how Michael Jordan was very, very comfortable shooting a mid-range jump shot. You can see Kobe Bryant very comfortable in a late game situation, pulling up, shooting the mid-range. Then we're going to look at LeBron James. We're going to see how he's very awkward looking, off balance, uncomfortable in a late game situation in the mid-range area. And then we're going to see LeBron James, the few game winners that he did hit in the playoffs, you can see it kind of fluky and lucky because, he's not a great shooter. And the shots he did make, he looked kind of surprised and like, wow, he actually went in. And Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, they confident, they calm. And when the shot go in, they knew it. They've worked over and over again on the mid-range shot so that when the game situation comes, it's just repetition. And they just rise up, make it. And when they do make a game-winning shot from the mid-range, it's not a surprise. So we're going to take a look at these videos, and that's going to be that. Let's take a look. Well, I didn't want to make it too long, so I'm just going to split this up into two parts. So this will be the part one. Part two will be coming the next day or two where we look at some late game situations. This has been long enough, so y'all take care. Look out for part two coming soon.